cool, isn't it? I mean, we're not going to call it a retrospective, but it's fucking nice to look back over the last 25 years.
Yeah, it's a reminder.
Thank you.
Shall we say reminder? We don't do nostalgia, you say.
Obviously.
No, not normally.
No, we're anti-nostalgic.
I mean, even just one of these frames is just so much thought and work goes into it. It's actually incredible how productive this whole experience has been. What are you, 9 albums now? And the amount of art you've created.
Yeah, but it's been 25 years. You know, if you work hard each day, you do a lot in 25 years.
Should we go and take a look at the Kong?
Okay, yes.
House of Kong.
It's a bit David Lynch, this room, isn't it? Maybe we should do the interview backwards.
This is the House of Kong, Los Angeles style.
Yeah.
Pazuzu's here,
Yeah.
in the biggest packing crate ever. When they opened it, it was full of rats. We had to put the guitar to hide his serpent penis. Because it's built just like the real statue of Pazuzu, and he has a giant snake for a penis. And then we thought, well, there's going to be kids here, so
Yeah,
we're going to have to do something about that.
that was very thoughtful of you.
Yeah. They have been busy, haven't they?
Welcome to the House of Kong. Please stay together as a group and adhere to the gallery rules during your visit. Let's move through to the first room of the tour, where the story of Gorillaz begins.
Oh, nice smell in here.
It's a nice smell.
So, okay, let's start. Miss Creation, which is the first one? Which is the oldest drawing?
I think it's that one.
Yeah.
She wasn't in the band in the end. Paula.
Yeah, I didn't realize that there were people who auditioned and didn't actually make it in.
And that was the original Murdoch.
Yeah, he was far too clean.
And then I don't know who she is. I don't know. Yeah, it went through. Look at Russell there.
You were living together when you were drawing these?
Yeah.
You're already working on the music and you guys have figured it out at this point, like, okay, this is going to be a thing. I better catch up. I better get to figuring out what they look like and what they are, what this is.
It was after the train crash, wasn't it? Abbott Grove. Do you remember? You wrote Ghost Train.
Wow.
Remember?
Wow.
He went to the studio and made a song, and I stayed up. I stayed at home, did some doodles, and he came home from work. I said, "Darling, dinner's ready."
He likes to cast this
I know.
role.
I know.
Mr. and Mrs.
And here we are at his
Man about the house.
Sure, it's way more about him than it is about you.
Mate. I'm just...
Yeah.
Oh, come on. I don't know if you're going to have an exhibition of sounds, can you? That's a concert.
Jeremy, every night's an exhibition.
That's a concert, and we do millions of concerts all around the world.
It's
We
true.
do one exhibition, so yeah, it's about me for change.
The timing is actually perfect because this album does feel very much like a real union, a proper, like it was in the beginning.
Almost definitely. And it was kind of the sort of next record after Plastic Beach. There's dissonance in between, but still feel that was kind of interesting time and there's lots of interesting things in there. But as cohesion goes and storytelling and that marriage, I think this is obviously like something I could say is the next one in that world, you know, and applying the principle of adventure.
And having a narrative that presented itself to us quite strongly.
Yeah.
It was kind of unavoidable.
Well, that's where friendship plays a really important role, which is why this started in the first place. You're not going to go down on this adventure with someone you don't like.
No.
And then I sort of feel like after Plastic Beach, there was a little bit of a pull into the conventional world for Gorillaz.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, we're a touring band now, and, you know, we're going to remove a little bit of the mystery around it all. And
Shall I tell you what happened?
Yeah,
It happened because we got a last-minute call to headline Glastonbury.
Yes.
And we had this band, and we were still applying the principle that we'd done in our live performance with Demon Days, where everyone is almost in silhouette, you know, and the band don't kind of step out. You know, that's what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And yet, what happened was a weird disengagement. It looks good on TV, but a weird disengagement in that huge field, which afterwards, so I've got this band. I've got to go back to that because that's the only way to play at this size. Do you know what I mean?
You can't silhouette on the pyramid stage.
No, you can't. That's what I'm saying.
You know?
So the next weekend was Roskilde, and I just went, fuck it, I'm going to do what I can do, you know? I'm not going to hold that back because it's just pointless in this context.
Yeah.
So, yes, it did become more of a live band. But for some reason, we've kind of got it back on track now.
Yeah.
We just put everything on stage now. It's all there to
Yeah.
be
But
seen.
It's taken us a long time to do that. It's just not an easy thing. And I know that because I do it all the time.
I think that's the whole Gorillaz experience.
It's one of those things, you know.
I would imagine it's as surprising to you that we're standing here at the beginning of it all and we're going to walk through and get to where we stand today, as it is to anybody, if not more surprising than it is to anybody else.
I agree with you. These not only remind me of that special time Jamie and I spent living together.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it was really unique. That's caught there, isn't it?
That's
He's there.
pretty.
It's been captured.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Very young. But see, this is the mad thing. They have actually aged, but they're still totally in a cartoon world, which is why it's not nostalgic.
Don't worry, I get the memo. We are not reminiscing right now.
We're still working on our anti-nostalgists manifesto.
Yeah.
We haven't ironed out all the creases yet, but we will.
Yeah, we're really somewhere now, aren't we? I mean, this is...
Yeah.
I realise now that that's probably the most like you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jamie?
What, Murdoch?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. If we're going to apply characters to ourselves.
Here's one of the things I love about this room is as you go through the covers.
This is the first. This is the
Was
most
that the first one? So that was Jefferson Hack.
This is very important. You know.
Yeah, this is... nobody wanted to interview the characters. And the only person who got it was Jefferson.
Yeah.
And he said, let's do the cover of Dazed and we'll do... I think there were like 10 pages inside.
Yeah.
And he was the only person who was prepared to do that. And we did it. It was a really cool piece.
Yeah.
And then everyone else started to talk to us.
This is the funniest one. I actually didn't believe that was real.
Smash hits, yeah.
Yeah, it was real.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must have been one of the biggest high fives you've given each other at that point in life. On the fucking cover of Smash Hits.
That's
like,
how
how
old
have we
we
done
were.
that?
We were on the cover of Smash Hits.
It's amazing. Look, Shaggy Atomic Kitten here saying Gorillaz on the front.
Shaggy.
Starting a new millennium on the top of front of Smash Hits magazine.
I mean, look at the times we were living in. Steps, Limp Bizkit, your personal favourites, Stereophonics, Westlife, Pink, Lil' Kim, Christina, just one word.
Wow.
No one ever talks about the awkwardness of the beginning, the silhouetted interviews with the two of you, like you're in witness protection.
Oh, yeah.
They're trying to get people to interview cartoon characters.
We were trying to remove the idea of celebrity out of the equation.
Though. Every time we tried to... We did some... Well, our first interview to America was Rolling Stone or something, wasn't it?
We
and
were the
all on
characters
different
on the phone.
phones, being the characters. Remy was being Russ, I was being 2D, he was being
I was
Murdoch.
Murdoch.
I don't think Noodle was around. We were trying to do everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Brilliantly, and it's sort of that side of things we haven't kind of really mastered yet. But I have to say, this new animation, it's all right, isn't it?
Oh, it looks amazing.
Exactly.
It's the Mountain Moon Cave Sag God.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely fucking incredible.
It's hand-drawn animation. It's what we set out to do, you know what I mean?
It feels like it's been around for 50, 60 years. It feels new. And it made me laugh because technology has finally caught up to what you were suggesting in the beginning.
You're
going back.
Oh, yeah,
We've noticed.
Yeah.
And your reaction is to go and work in the old ways.
Well, what else can we do?
We're determined to do the opposite to everybody else.
Yeah.
Even if we shoot ourselves in the feet, it's fine. So.
The holograms. I actually thought it was good, but I know it was awful in the room. But it looked good on TV.
It looked amazing on TV.
On TV it was a win.
That was very good, yeah.
Yeah.
It was brilliant on TV, but awful in the room.
I remember thinking at the time, you can have 12 shows at the same time.
Yeah.
That was the whole
That was
concept.
it,
Then ABBA kind of,
Yeah.
had the money to really do it.
It was too expensive and the technology hadn't been developed well enough that in a live scenario, you had to have the music very low because the invisible screen vibrates when you turn the bass up and the drums, and then your animations go... When we were at the Grammys and they came on, it was really quiet. And people were talking, they didn't even know the show had started because it was so quiet.
And then Madonna afterwards moved over to the other side of the stage, which had the biggest speaker. She sort of stood on top of a speaker, just the biggest speaker that just absolutely caught everyone's attention. And everyone thought, oh, it's starting.
You got murked by Madonna.
Yeah.
I love this as well, because it's like, who wore it best? You know what I mean? Like, they were subverting in a really amazing way.
Yeah.
You were started to subvert in a really amazing way. That's almost the most iconic cover of all of them.
We arrived at the same time, right?
I agree. It was definitely felt like, oh, okay, they're doing what we're doing as well.
Yeah.
But they had the advantage of not having a face of Britpop trying to
That's
hide.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I was at a disadvantage.
Yeah, a victim of your success. You've been saying that for 30 years, man.
I'll pay rent tomorrow.
One thing you always got right with the videos, and I love seeing the storyboarding that you did, the detail of the storyboarding. This is probably the thing that actually jumps out the most. The music is so obviously up front, and we get the videos that accompany that, and we get to see the truth of it in the artwork and whatnot. But this really is like a window into your process. Are you comfortable showing your process to people?
I don't mind.
You don't?
I mean, there's a lot of storyboards for a lot of videos that have never been seen.
Yeah.
And what I do is I put as much work into the storyboard as possible so that when we begin, the animators know exactly what it's supposed to look like. Instead of just doing stickmen and little sketches and camera moves and stuff, I try and do. So, yeah, they became more and more complicated, and then I started editing the storyboards to the music. So I'd deliver an animatic, and, you know, it ends up being like 350 drawings just to tell a 4-minute video. So it's nice to show them. I mean,
It was a happy existence. I'd play a tune and run up to Jamie's studio and bus bass on the second floor and play it, and then he'd like listen to it and then start drawing, you know, and that was every day. It was great.
Okay, so what normally happens in music videos is someone writes a treatment, and then the director will figure out where and how they want to shoot it and get a production crew to pull it all together. But to your point, you know, you're effectively directing the video as you're storyboarding the video and breaking it all down. So how do you construct a narrative before you even begin to storyboard it? Or does sometimes the narrative present itself throughout the drawings?
I listen to the song and I decide what the story is going to be. I talk with him and we go, yeah, that's cool. And then I draw it. It's quite easy, really. And then I change bits. And sometimes he says, I don't like that, and I change it. And it's just, but there's not a big team. I deliver the idea complete. And then we get involved with animators and stuff. And then they say, well, that's way too expensive. You haven't got enough money. And then things have to change and you edit bits. But I try to deliver the idea complete without the requirement of anybody else's input, you know.
Yeah, I really appreciated seeing it start to flip between real life and animation, Stylo being an obvious high point of that when Bruce Willis kind of showing up with the characters. I mean, seeing some of the outtakes in the Red Room before, and you just like so giddy to be on set with Bruce. And to have that, I mean,
Bruce was a sweetheart. He was so nice, and he didn't charge to be in the video. He said, we did it in Barstow, in between Vegas and LA. And he said, oh yeah, I'll do it. I'll come on a Sunday. Just, can you fly me out by helicopter? Because I've got a kid's birthday party to get back to. But I don't want to be paid. And we're like, sure. And we bought some nice red wine for his trailer. And he just arrived. And he was a sweetheart. And he did it. Then he got back in his helicopter. And off
went
he
to
went.
a kid's birthday party.
Like, I said, yeah, I've got my kid's birthday party. I've got to get back. So, you know.
This video and this song changed the whole trajectory of the band.
Yeah.
I mean, when Billy reached out, she was like, respectfully, I want to do that one at Coachella. And it's the one that really kind of connected. I think it sort of unified all of us. The kids who loved the concept and the animation and the feeling that they got from it, but also the music. That song really connected. Feel good.
Yeah, I know. And it's kind of, how do you do that?
Great question.
I have no idea.
Well, that's a great answer.
How do you do that?
How does anyone do that? It's like, clearly, it's not allowed to have an answer.
No, it's not, but it's interesting, isn't it? Because the first album's rough as fuck in a great way. I mean, you know, there's songs, it's a transition record from where you were kind of sitting in the blur space of like, I want to...
Well, it's kind of a bedfellow or a cousin of 13,
That's right.
really. You know, which I feel was a really exciting time for Blur as well. I really like that album.
Yeah.
But that was the idea of, oh, God, a producer can transform something.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, no, I can do that as well. Because, you know, do you know what I mean? It's like watching William work was very inspiring. Do you know, all the things that you learn in life, you just take them for granted once you've learned them. But at some point, you were yet to acquire them. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's so important to keep learning.
Yeah.
Right? keep learning, never stop learning.
But I remember
Never look back.
in quick succession, it was like Deltron, fucking interesting, right? Interesting conceptual thing.
Yeah.
And then over here, Dan and you doing the Gorillaz thing. I'm like, oh, it's really subversive. It's a subversive time. And it felt like really natural to you as a creative, at least.
Yeah, I think a few people were a bit shocked at the time.
Well, I mean, 7 million people bought that album worldwide.
It was very interesting doing it this last year at the Copper Box, because, never ever played it as a full album ever.
Oh, shit.
Because it was so quick that things changed and it became a whole different thing, you know. The songs on that really kind of got left behind, most of them, but playing them was fantastic, wasn't it, that?
Demon Days, we didn't even do that many gigs for Demon Days.
No.
Just didn't play a lot in the early days.
You were very wedded to the characters then. I mean, you were selling the story. I mean, you were telling people who the characters were. I mean, there was a line where they sent you the tape. I mean, it was very, you were leaning into the concept in a really real way, which must be really
but,
fun.
You know, it's an ongoing experiment, and it changes every time, and it adapts, and it's allowed to adapt because we adapt and we change, and we're growing as artists, and it's impossible to stay the same. So this is freedom, basically, for us to do what we want, which is wonderful. But of course, the characters are really important to it, and they end up kind of telling our stories sometimes. You know, the stuff that happens to us kind of filters into their stories.
There's one moment in this strange little journey that you can take where, when I did it the first time, I literally had the hairs on my back rise because it felt weird. It felt weird, like they were just round the corner. They actually did exist. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It was strange. And I mean...
I think they do, because if you listen to The Mountain, and I want to talk about The Mountain as we move through, I thought about the big subject matter on that record, the big beauty and the big loss and the big life in that record, and how the characters are really generous to you in that album.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
They sort of must give you a safe space to explore that.
Well, yeah. Well, and then you add all of the kind of the rituals and imagery of Indian culture. There's like a couple of million gods in the Hindu religion, all slightly different, all representing different aspects of the kind of the human and the animal and the nature. And if you just like learning stuff, it's a wonderful place to go to.
Let's get this. Let's keep moving.
Yeah.
Choose Pazuzu. Attention, there has been a technical error. Leave the building and find the nearest assembly point.
So, Jamie, when it came to sort of developing the characters and figuring out what their tastes were and who liked what,
Yeah.
I mean, it's very granular work, isn't it? Because it's like you've got to literally create an entire backstory, present story.
Yeah.
Think about what their future story is, right down to the detail. It's not like, oh, here's the image, here's the artwork, go do it. It's like, no, they wear these clothes, they drink this, they like this kind of music.
Yeah, you start out, you design enough to begin with, and you just keep adding to it and adding to it. So they've developed over 25 years. So, but yeah, I mean, Murdoch being a Satanist, that was quite an easy one.
Yeah. Russell being from New York.
Russell being from New York, and well, that was on our original manifesto, was that Russell was going to be the character that was able to summon spirits, dead rappers or dead artists, which we thought was such a good idea, and then we didn't do anything with it. I mean, we had Del, the ghost, coming out of him, but we didn't pursue that idea until this album kind of made sense, because we'd have 25 years and we'd worked with these people and we had a relationship with them and they had passed away. So then that idea made sense. But when we came up with it, there wasn't anyone to do that with, unless they're an imaginary character. So that was, seeded a long time ago and now comes to light.
Comes to light.
Look, it's very Breaking Bad, isn't it? Oh, there's human bones on the barbecue. I expect Leatherface to come out of there in the chainsaw any minute.
Murdoch's Winnebago. This is definitely a new smell.
Yes.
For me, I've never smelled this before. Do you want to stay here and we'll just come back around and grab you?
No, I'll join you in a minute.
Just getting a bit of sun, are you? The Winnebago. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Oh, that smells bad.
It smells fucking terrible.
Just in the shower. Come in, take a seat.
I like the smell of it.
You know, one of the things I've loved seeing is like, as the footage has come out, is that you've been in the studio a lot while the music's been made. It hasn't just been like it was where you'd make a song and then run upstairs and play it for Jamie and he'd work on it. Like, you've gone along for the ride, and this and The Mountain very much so, right? I mean, you shared this experience together the entire
way. Well,
way.
you know, Song Machine was COVID, so we were all separate.
Yeah.
And we started off together and then COVID hit, so we were talking on Zoom calls, really.
Yeah.
And the next record, Cracker Island, was a strange beast because it was literally made predominantly here in Los Angeles because we were waiting around in between meetings with Netflix.
Oh, the movie.
So I was just sort of, we were waiting for something that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a record about, it's a frustrating record because it's a frustrating time, you know?
Yeah.
For me.
It moves too slow, the film industry. It's very slow. Everything takes so much time. And we were working on a script, and we were on the second draft of a pretty good script idea. And then we kind of, Cracker Island kind of became the movie.
Yeah.
Because it had quite a complicated narrative and storyline weaved through the album.
We were in a way letting too much of the new technology, which we didn't really understand, be used on our behalf. That's why there was a disconnect for us.
Yeah.
This whole period has been the opposite of that. We've spent a lot of time together. A lot of things have happened. We've talked about what it is we want to achieve. You know, actually having a real objective.
If we'd done a movie 25 years ago, fine, but the idea of doing a movie now just doesn't have no interest in it whatsoever.
No interest.
It's not an interesting idea. It's not an original idea. It's like we had this moment with Netflix where we were literally told you can do whatever you want and we'll give you as much money. And we were like, okay, great. And we had some brilliant ideas, but it was just moving so slow. And the guy we were working with just left. And they said, don't worry, we'll find someone else. And it's like, okay, there's going to be another year of conversations before this starts again. So we pulled out.
Yeah.
And then we put that
Well,
one
I
to
just
bed.
felt like I was hanging around for what seemed an eternity.
So we made an album while we were waiting.
About hanging around
basically.
for eternity.
Yeah.
What that record's about.
It's a good album. Thank you, Netflix. I mean, you get something good out of it.
I love this album.
Yeah, same. It's a great album. It's a great album.
All of them are great. I love the Now is a great album. I love Humans. It's just they were all made under different circumstances.
Of course.
Yeah.
And
Of course,
we were in
well,
different places, different
I mean,
mindsets.
Humans just made right at the beginning of the Trump era, but it has that sort of energy about it.
It's crazy how I feel like Gorillaz has been predicting the end of time from day one. And yet life caught up to you in a strange way faster than the end of the world did. Because it's, you know, the end of the world, you know, we all talk about the macro, but really the end of our world is when we lose people close to us and things change, right?
Yeah.
Apocalypse is an ongoing philosophical question. It's not something you just meditate on once. You're looking at it all the time. That's what you're meditating on. The whole point of The Mountain is that it's a positive outlook, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I mean, we could have got political, but it's like, why don't we just do something that's more positive about something that's quite negative?
Yeah.
We don't need to add to all the. We all know what's going on.
I mean, I couldn't help but add The Happy Dictator.
Yeah.
But that was from an experience in Turkmenistan, of
Yeah.
all places, where this president, the second president actually, after it became an independent country, had this vision that he would stop all negative news in the country so that people could sleep better and be less anxious, which sort of, in one sense, is a lovely sentiment. And yet...
Ignorance is bliss.
Never finish that, just leave it at and yet.
Yeah, it stinks in here. Let's get out.
See you soon, suckers.
It's the music that we choose. Off you go then. Through the door.
It's Banania. These are all your clothes, Damon. You finally found somewhere to store your own clothes.
I'm storing them here at the moment.
That's quite a nice shirt, actually. No.
Green light means you're in.
Oh, the recording studio.
Yeah, man. Kong. Everyone's got their station. Murdoch Station.
The Flying V.
Yeah, the Flying V. Classic.
But all the stuff does work in here. It should work. There you go.
Yeah.
Do you want to take a seat?
Yeah.
Now that is actually,
The original mixing desk.
that is my desk from Bus Space.
Wow.
So the whole first and most of the second album was done on that.
Wow.
The brand new Monty Python paperback. Oh my God, that's mine.
It's obviously torture for Jamie to actually sit down in here because he's so tidy. Looks like he'd be wanting to.
No, I don't want to mess up. They've set it all up. I don't want to move
Yeah, but
stuff.
that's
you
what I
see.
mean. You're look, you're messing it up.
This is a beautiful chaos.
In the studio, I definitely wouldn't have my albums on show. Do you know what I mean? Keep that all very low key.
This is not your old couch, is it?
No, that was lighter, remember?
Yeah,
It
it was
wasn't
longer.
very comfortable at all.
Yeah.
So when did the mountain begin?
We were shooting the live action sequences for Silent Running video from the last album. We were in Serbia together, and my wife was in India with her mother, and they were flying back, and her mother had a stroke. And so I had to go from Belgrade to London to India on the beginning of December 2022, and then we were in Jaipur for 6-7 weeks. To the middle of January, I think it was, anyway, trying to get her mother home in a coma, which was a pretty tough experience and quite traumatic. But at the same time, I just had an amazing experience in India. You know, people were very warm and it really helped the situation. So when I came back, I was very excited to talk to Damon about the prospect of us going together. No great plan at that point, but just to go to India together to have an experience and to see whether we could make a Gorillaz record in India. And then in between trips, we lost our fathers. Damon's dad first and my dad 10 days later, which was very strange because we're born 10 days apart.
That is very
So it all started to get quite spooky and weird. Not spooky, but like, okay, this is something big that needs to be addressed, or I don't know, we needed to think about how to kind of move forward because, you know, you lose your father, you move up.
Oh yeah,
a
you're
level
next.
in the grand computer
Yeah.
game of life, and you
That's
become
right.
the patriarch, and it's very weird. No matter your relationship, whether you had a good relationship or a bad relationship, doesn't matter.
It does change you.
It changes.
Changes you.
It does change you.
Because you've kind of had that buffer, kind of a safety zone, all your entire life. And so that's suddenly gone, and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. But it's interesting, isn't it? Because you guys could have processed that individually and together, been friends and helped each other out. Jamie, you could have gone and worked on something. Damien, you could have, what you did with Everyday Robots, figured out how to say what you want to say through your own filter. But to decide that Gorillaz is the right vehicle, I think, is a really interesting decision.
I mean, for me, it wasn't even something I hesitated over because I'd always wanted to come to India.
Yeah.
I just got very, very distracted and delayed from Mali, and then the way that led me to amazing countries. You know, so I just hadn't got around to it.
Well, I think you arrived at the right moment.
Yeah,
You know, if you'd gone
absolutely.
before, it wouldn't have been the
I
same.
totally agree. I felt like I'd done so much kind of playing music with people and hanging out with people to have got over any kind of sort of notion of cultural impossibility. You know what I mean? It just doesn't exist to me. That's why. Therefore, all kind of anti-immigration propaganda that kind of propagates the idea that other cultures are other and therefore not to be trusted, and is just ridiculous in my humble opinion. because it's so clearly that everything that's wonderful about the world is about our interaction with each other and and our respect of each other and understanding of each other, and it's not divisive.
Yeah.
What's all this division?
I think we have everything to gain from learning about everyone's culture and traveling the world.
It's very important.
How can you hate people you've never had an experience of?
Even if you don't have the option to travel and explore, okay, it doesn't mean that you can't be open to it, and you travel and explore through that. There's no argument, in my opinion, to racism. That's it.
Imagine this album, if we hadn't have worked with all these people from around the world, it wouldn't be the same.
No,
that's a testament to what happens when you do that, when you mix with other people. The end result is something really glorious, I think.
There's a very nurturing spirit to the mountain. You know, I feel like India was obviously a very nurturing experience for the two of you.
Yeah, I mean,
well, it's just a fascinating place.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
Privileged to be able to actually play with musicians who are connected to music from my childhood, you know, very early childhood.
Yeah, based on where you grew up in the neighborhood you grew up in.
Yeah, and the record collection of my father.
Did you realize at the time when you were going to India that there was a connection of the dots?
No, I didn't. Well, I didn't realize how much of a connection music and his death would have. You know, I mean, yeah, it's fascinating watching someone die. You know,
what did you take from that experience?
It just kind of sort of it raised more questions than answers.
Yeah,
like walls and walls of patterns projected and routes and paths, and you know, it's a big old universe on the other side. I think that's what I was thinking.
Well, you know, there's a lot of questions in the Sad God. There's a lot of sort of in that song, I feel like, as you're going through the list of things.
Yeah, I mean, that could have gone on forever, really. Yeah. It's like, in the end, all you can do in a song really is offer an idea, isn't it? You know, I mean, you can't complete it. Yeah. I mean, there are songs talking about and kind of connected to that, and the transfer of atoms, and you know, I went into a coffee shop that had a studio at the back.
Crazy.
That had Frank Sinatra's bedroom piano in it.
What?
So I played on that, and for a moment I was Frank Sinatra in his bedroom, and then we left.
Put the cover back on.
I left, and then we went to KCRW.
Yeah.
And they had Nina Simone's piano. So I played on that then. This is 10 minutes later.
Got some DNA.
And then
from both.
Talked to this lovely human being who turned out to be Sly Stone's daughter.
This is all within a half an hour.
Yeah, in a half an hour. This all happened in half an hour.
Only in LA.
No. The point of it is if you believe in the idea of kind of everything leaves atoms and merges anyway. You know what I mean? That's a lot for me in my world of music. That's a lot of music to be swimming around in. You know.
Yeah.
So India can give you that.
What was it like when you were sort of listening to these precious outtakes of people? And the footage of you watching Dennis Hopper when he's a live recording is priceless, because you are out of your mind with curiosity and excitement.
Yeah, we were trying to make, you know, Thriller. You know what I mean? And we needed
a voice.
We needed a voice, you know.
We weren't sure whether it was actually happening. We thought this is a joke.
Yeah.
There's not going to be the Dennis Hopper's not showing up, and he did. And he was just, what was great about him was there was no ego. He didn't give a damn about who he was. He's fascinated with artists and meeting artists and collaborating with artists.
Yeah.
That's his thing.
Yeah.
And so he was very excited to meet Damon. He was a sweetheart.
Yeah.
The first time I had a chance to meet him, it was at the Hackney Empire, and it was some awards thing, and he was sitting in his row just down, and got up, and I was in the kind of sort of gap between the doors and the chairs. And then I lost my nerve at the last minute. I went behind the column until he walked past. I did pluck up the courage, but no, eventually. But I was actually shy.
Yeah, well, he is a legend.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he literally changed Hollywood. I'm not surprised you were shy.
You know, he's part of the Kerouac generation. You know what I mean? He's part of that philosophy, which was a really important in the development of America.
Yeah. You know, it's the collaboration that makes this whole thing tick. It's the idea of being able to bring people into the Gorillaz world. And after the first album, right, the proof of concept, it's much easier. People are like, yeah, I'm interested. I mean, the jump from the first album, we had some amazing people, Ibrahim and many others. But then you got Lou Reed, you know, showing up. And
Yeah, that was a funny day, wasn't it? We were in a studio off of Union Square. It was me, Damon, and Remy Kabaka.
Yeah, but no. Before we get to that point, you have to bear in mind that I had sent him 3 different songs that had all been completely, literally thrown out. You know what I mean? In no uncertain terms. And I just thought I'm going to give it one more go. Maybe I just sort of wore him down or something. I don't know. But he agreed to meet us and talk about it.
And he arrived in the studio, and Damon said, "Hey, Lou, nice to meet you. This is..." And before Damon could say my name, he told me to fuck off. And he told Remy, "You fuck off and you fuck off."
You can't say that to Remy.
And we said, okay. So
Remy's more interested than any of us. You know what I mean?
So me and Remy went shopping. And Damon was alone with him in the studio and with the technician guy.
He then said, "I've got to go uptown, and I'm going to write in the taxi, and then when I've done what I've got to do, I'm going to come back, and I'm just going to look at it and just read it verbatim, and then we'll see where we're at." You know, and that's what he did. He went off, wrote this fantastic kind of sort of meditation on plastic, and came back and delivered it.
We saw him again and again, and then he became much more friendly. Like, I did a drawing of him, and I was told we couldn't use it. And then he asked if he could use it for a magazine cover for some Village Voice or some local kind of New York magazine. Then he came and did Madison Square Gardens with us, at which point he was becoming very friendly. And then he said, "I want to come and play in LA." Next thing, he's in LA with us, and he's going around every dressing room. This is the Plastic Beach tour, so we had everybody on that tour. He's going around every dressing room, introducing himself and being an absolute sweetheart.
Wow.
So the story starts with fuck
Fuck
off,
off.
without even waiting to hear my name.
Wow.
And ends with a very, very friendly Lou Reed.
But at Madison Square Gardens, when he came on, they started going, "Who?" And for some reason, I thought they were going boo.
Right.
And I thought, fuck, this is really weird. And
Boo, boo. But no one does a boo like that, do they? They go boo.
Yeah, no, they were going, Lou.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it was Lou.
Okay, so it sounded like they were booing him.
So this can happen, you know.
Did you go looking for stuff from Lou, from the outtakes for this?
Yeah, I found stuff, but it's on there, but not him speaking. We had to. We landed on How, didn't we?
There's a bit on the Plastic Guru where it's the voice of Hal from 2001, but he's saying the words that Lou Reed said. That's how we replaced it.
That's how you did it.
I bet Lou Reed was an anti-nostalgist.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wondered about that because I love the idea that Russell has finally been able to fulfill his objective of bringing you know the dead to life and summons up their spirit. But equally, you know, these decisions, you can't take them lightly, right? Because you used what you used when the people were alive. They heard it, they approved it, and now you have these outtakes, and you've got to figure out how you do it in a thoughtful and lovely way.
Well, we went through all the proper channels, and we spoke to all the families of and the states of, and approached it from a very respectful way, and everyone was cool with it.
What was really sad is there was nothing of Terry Hall.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which is really, you know, because I knew Terry as well as anyone, you know, but there wasn't anything. So he had to have that kind of very limited parameter for it to feel like it was still in the, you know, we were saving some of the atoms that have been left.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, letting them bounce around over here.
That's the vibe.
We're going to see it in a second. The big mural of everybody who's been on it.
Oh, yeah.
It's moving, actually. in some ways. Because you see a lot of people who are still, first of all, great loyalty ratio.
There's a lot of people on that fucking picture.
And not a lot of people have quit, people still kicking about, you know.
Yeah.
Paul on this record, Johnny
Yeah.
on this record,
Yeah.
Dave, rest his soul, but there are people who've come and gone, and so really loss has been a part of the Gorillaz story long before you actually experienced it personally from a family point of view.
Absolutely. By the very nature of what we do, there's going to be loss, because, when I work with Ibrahim,
Someone else we couldn't find outtakes of.
couldn't find
That would have
anything,
been
but he
amazing.
was already in his late 80s.
Yeah. God, you look so reverent in that video. I mean, you're so young and you're sitting there and you're just like, you are playing a steady hand.
Yes.
That must have been one of the first times that you found yourself in a room with someone of that caliber.
Oh, I know.
Testing your collaborative chops.
Yeah, that was a mad period, because I also went to Mali, and my first musical experience in Mali was being invited around to Tumani Diabate's house, being shown into this very kind of sort of plush living room. And then Tumani comes in his robes and said, "Do you want to play?" And I was like, "I'd rather listen to you play," but I played my first note and realised that the chorus needs to tune, because the melodica is a fixed reed.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a baptism of fire, but what a long journey it's been. Yeah.
So one question off the back of that, because confidence came in at the end of the day, for you to be able to sort of decide to go, then find yourself in that room, then honour the request by deciding to contribute something musically in a room where you probably, if you actually stopped to even allow the inner voice to just natter at you for a second, some pretty decent imposter syndrome going on at that moment.
Absolutely. So by the time that we got to India, well versed in the
go for it.
Exactly, just go for it. And what I've found from musicians all around the world, honestly, is that most of them are so generous with their spirit. I'm more than happy to just hang out with musicians. It's not an exclusive club, but you know what I mean. I know a lot of musicians, that's for sure.
How'd you get the voice on the film?
It was a voice actor.
It's so legit.
That's 70s grindhouse horror.
Machete.
Yeah. But that comes from me seeing somebody re-edited a trailer for The Shining, but as a romantic comedy.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
He's a writer looking for inspiration.
I've got to see
Jack
this.
Torrance in Shinings. It made me laugh so much that you can just re-edit something. So we wanted to do the horror trailer, and then we did a fake Disney trailer. And then the real film has nothing to do with horror, or it's not a Disney film, it's just a joke.
I feel like that's where AI might come in handy, is allowing us to have a giggle at things like that from a sort of subversive point of view.
Might come in handy.
Well, on that level.
Well,
I don't think you should trivialise that.
And I don't, and I'm glad we ended up here just briefly.
It's just, that's just makes us lazy.
It does. It's plagiarism, really, isn't it?
It's the biggest form of plagiarism ever.
Yeah.
But it's just laziness. We're just getting lazier and lazier and lazier.
Yeah.
And technology is allowing us to get even lazier. And then we lose all our skill.
Yeah.
And then we don't do anything anymore. I know people who use ChatGPT to write all their emails.
Yeah.
They don't even write anymore. And they say, well, it's easier. But you're going to forget how to write at some point, and then you're going to become illiterate. The people who are making this stuff are people who aren't artists, but they've been given a tool that makes them think they're artists. So I know people who call themselves AI artists because they tap in a command and then the AI generates an image, and then they say, I did that. I'm an AI artist. Which is bullshit.
It's
You're just typing.
scientists thinking they're artists as well. I met a bot called Kieran a few days ago.
Okay, how's that experience?
I said, I'm always very polite.
We've been making friends with all the robots in LA
Yeah.
because they've got facial recognition.
Yeah.
And, when the obvious happens in about 10 years' time,
You need to be friendly with them.
we're going to be friends with the robots.
Yeah, you need to be.
But, being long-termists as well.
Oh, I like that.
Long-termists.
I like that.
Oh,
That's
my God.
It's time to move on.
As you're going through the exhibition, obviously this is the mountain, and this kind of honors where Gorillaz are today, which is in this environment. So just talk us through this painting, Jamie. And
This comes from an adventure we had together in China when we climbed to the top of Monkey Mountain. There was a monastery at the top, and we were so high we were above the clouds.
There's a lot more of that story.
This is 2 days where both of us nearly died.
So anyway, we got to the top.
no. What happened? What happened?
Oh no, we really nearly died.
What happened?
I nearly died the night before because I took something I shouldn't have done.
Right.
And
Right.
So he was in the toilet, and I was singing My Way, and then I just thought, James disappeared. And then went into the toilet, and it was...
kicked down the toilet door,
Yeah.
and I was unconscious.
Yeah.
We were in a karaoke bar in China.
Yeah.
in Chengdu.
And somebody offered something that might help us stay awake.
Oh, shit.
And God knows what it was. But I woke up the next morning in my boxer shorts in a hotel room with him at the end of the bed in his boxer shorts. And I said, what happened? And he said, you fucking motherfucker, I thought you were going to die. And I said, why are we in our boxer shorts? He said, because you threw up over everything.
Oh, shit.
And then we climbed Monkey Mountain.
Yeah, then we
Feeling like that.
The worst
Yeah.
hangover imaginable. We get to the top of Monkey Mountain. I'm going to let you tell your bit. And then on the way down, my kneecaps go. I can't walk anymore. So they get people to carry me. And Damon's like, fuck you, you're lazy. He marches
Yes,
off.
I've said, right, I'm going to run down the mountain then, because it had this ancient stairway all the way up the mountain, mate.
Yeah.
Carved out of stone, most extraordinary thing.
And he gets to a crossroads.
And I'm running, I'm sort of, you know, like that. Like going down the mountain, and there were like a couple of villages on this mountain. Huge place.
Yeah.
And as I was going through there, they were like, I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. But I think they were trying to tell me, don't try and run down this because you're going to really fuck yourself up.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, by the time I got to the bottom of the other side of this mountain, my back and my legs were starting to really tighten up, and I was actually only being able to walk like this.
He went missing
5
for
hours.
hours and hours.
This is about
and
5 hours later. Anyway, no one speaks any English, so I thought, oh, I'm just going to go and try and get a hitch a ride. So I go out onto the road, and then finally someone stops. I showed them the map of where I wanted to go, and they sort of said yes. And I tried to get on the back of it. Anyway, I got on the back of the moped, and then this gentleman went up another mountain, and then at the top stopped, answered the phone, and then got into like the most horrific domestic argument that went on for at least 20 minutes. So I'm just sitting like on the back of this.
It was getting dark, and Monkey Mountain is full of wild, dangerous monkeys.
Yeah.
And they're saying if he doesn't come down before it gets dark, he's going to die up there.
cooked.
They will attack him.
I got down, but maybe I was part of a kidnapping that sort of
Went wrong.
went wrong, yeah. But it was an eventful 24 hours, and I suppose that reminds us of that.
Yeah, that was one of our many near-death experiences. Oh, the Church of Gorillaz.
And then I think we go into the dressing room.
Ah, costume department.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, splendid. This smells nice in here.
How many costumes do you think you've... How many outfits?
Thousands.
Thousands.
Yeah, although I always draw them wearing something different. As many outfits as I've drawn pictures, probably. But the idea to make real versions of the cartoon characters' costumes was a good idea. Because,
yeah.
I mean, that's Noodle's little jacket.
No, it's different when it's tactile, when you feel it.
Yeah, yeah.
But I like this dressing room. I'd like to have a dressing room like this.
Don't you have a dressing room like this wherever you go?
Well, yeah, but not with these kind of lovely made, beautiful clothes in there.
Yeah, it's cool. This is great. It's one of my favorite rooms in the entire exhibition because it really does. It makes you. It really comes to life. And all this effort that's gone into creating this world here.
And it's nice when these come on, you have the images in there of the characters and stuff.
So many pills.
I like the melted lollipop.
Head north.
Where's north from here?
Boston found? Jeepers, Christ. Look at that hand. That's supposed to be from the Wicker Man. It should have candle wicks on it, you know? Wow. Oh, there you go. The famous Francis Bacon painting that was apparently stolen and never found. So we're making out that the Gorillaz stole it. Freud, bacon and eggs.
Thank you, brave traveler, for daring to enter Gorillaz, House of Kong.
It's fun, man. It's really fun. It's one of those experiences when you go through it, it's overwhelming, the level of work that you both put into this.
Yeah, a lot of work.
It's never felt more like 25 years than in that experience, just based on, like you say, the fraction of...
Oh, yeah, this is 15% of all of the stuff.
It's crazy. I mean, even just getting just a fraction of the stories the two of you had.
Yeah, oh my goodness, yeah, you did. I mean, exactly. Just one little picture. So much of it has that accompaniment.
I mean, you've gone and seen more of the world than probably any living musician in a way. Up there.
Yeah, definitely up there.
Both of you.
It's definitely been one of the highlights of my life, traveling. I love it. I love traveling with him. Okay, and then we end up together again.
Yeah, that's the corridor, one of the corridors in Studio 13.
And they're actually my pants.
Where to next? Well, that's actually a good question, because if it's not a retrospective, then this certainly isn't a way of saying thank you and good night. The mountain, as we've talked about, covers some really big life stuff. And but you know,
but we didn't plan it that way, you know.
of course
I mean?
not. Of course not.
So we're talking about the next album already.
Yeah.
It'll be something else, you know?
Where haven't you been that you'd love to go and explore from a creative point of view?
There's still loads. I mean, I've only just scratched the surface of everywhere. It's never going to end.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to do everything that is there in my lifetime.
Yeah.
I'll keep pushing for as long as I can.
Yeah.
And maybe stop. And I will stop. So there's no maybe about it.
And then Russell will have to
Yeah,
conjure
get me
the
back.
spirits
Get me back.
of the two of you back.
I hope he
yeah.
does. I hope he does, because I'd be really
That'd be
fucked up
funny.
if he doesn't.
Yeah. Russell will have to conjure you, Damon.
What is this, Jamie? what we're looking at some
This was
cells?
Rhinestone Eyes.
Yeah.
We started doing a video for Rhinestone Eyes, and we had a bit of a problem with the record company, pulled the budget because they felt that the album hadn't been successful enough,
Right.
so they weren't going to pay. We literally spent 2 days, we started animating, so there were going to be 4 videos for Plastic Beach. Stylo,
Yeah.
Melancholy Hill, Rhinestone Eyes, and I can't remember the third one. But it was a continuing story, so it would have been like a short animated film over 4 videos. And this was the third part. And we started animating and they pulled the budget on us. It just exists like this, you know?
This is cool. Plastic Beach has been such a beautiful, long-standing relationship for all of us.
We wanted it to be made like Thunderbirds, you know?
Yeah.
Like a miniature. And we shot it in a tank.
It's all the stuff underneath.
Yeah, you're missing...
Oh, wow,
It's the-
look at that.
the-
Holy shit.
It's all the detritus of mankind, all the mistakes, all the wars, all the hatred, all the madness of mankind congealed together to make this island of rubbish in the middle of the South Pacific. Point Nemo, the furthest point from any landmass on planet Earth.
So we're at the end of our conversation this time around, and we've reached the mountain. I mean, this is the crew, right? This is the cast of the new
This
album.
is all of our people on the record. Well, look, this is great.
Yeah.
All these wonderful people.
Yeah.
That's a lot of great time spent with it.
Yeah.
Those people.
Yeah.
Look at Sean.
Yeah.
It's the only artist I've ever heard who was doing a sound check and came up with an international #1 hit.
You know, Sean wasn't in the best of states
Yeah.
at that time, so he was nodding off a lot.
Yeah.
And he'd just been playing for ages. And then he sort of came back to this world. And just telling everyone, yeah, I can hear it now. Yeah, right, I'm ready to go. And then...
It's coming up. It's coming up. It's there. Well, boys, thanks for letting me come through and have a little nosy at this amazing exhibition.
It looks good here.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Actually, it's really come out nice.
I do want to finish by saying that this will obviously come down and be compartmentalized and will be put away. But the album is, it's a triumph. And the visuals are absolutely gorgeous. The
Thank
films
you.
are gorgeous.
So all we can do to that is this.